Okay. Apparently, it's very my stream is over the top. But anyway, let's go to here. I think we're working. Need to check this because I have in the past not actually recorded anything. So let's just go to live, make sure we're actually uploading something. Okay, this title's wrong. We'll change that. And I need to take caps lock off. We are doing cfg config. Well, let's do it okay. cfg. I've forgotten already what I was going to say. Event groups. I'll put a capital on that. Event groups. And it's dayz editor, VPP, admin tools, object builder. Oh, that'll be a nice little title. It's a long title, but we can always change it down. So, okay, let's do some building on that. This is going to be a small thing because what I built recently is quite a big event. It was, to be honest, it was my platform build that was a JSON. It was a static, just a static build, or just an ordinary build. But I've using VPP, I took the dayz editor build, imported it back into VPP, took the center point of the platform, which was a big area called AT5, I think, or ATC5, I can't remember what it's called now, TC5, an aerial. Set that as the primary um, uh, object, and then added everything else as children. And it's quite easy, actually. So let me just have a little celebrity. And we'll get on with it. Of course, credit goes to Ron Sibley. I watched his video, and it was a very long video. But it gave me some insight into some of the things. I was already working on it, trying to figure out what all the syntax was. But and Darwan, thank you for VPP option to actually export the groups, and that makes life so much easier. Let's get on with it. So what we're going to do is we'll go into game first. What I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm actually going to run up dayz, and we're going to go into dayz editor when it boots. Nothing's booted, so I don't know whether you can see anything. Let me just add a screen here because you obviously cannot see what I am seeing. I'm just oh dear, that's a lot, isn't it? That's not what we want. So we'll cancel that. That's way too much. That's not what we want. Window capture, not display capture. Window capture. So what we're looking for is listing And there's nothing there, so I'll have to create a new one. Steam, because you'll need to see Steam boot up. dayz launcher, that's close enough. That's all squished over there. I don't know why it's all squished over there. We'll choose OK. Strange, very strange. Seems to be. Is that actually going to do anything? This is supposed to be the dayz launcher. Let's try that one. Choose OK. No, it's not showing it, so we'll have to. Oh, it's capturing the mouse. So try again. dayz launcher. It doesn't like dayz launcher. I'll have to do a. I'll have to make it large. There we go. We'll have to do a screen on that because I am totally unprepared for this. Bad memory, I'm afraid, so I tend to forget things at the drop of a hat. So we'll have to do a screen. So screen, display capture. Voice capture 2. Okay. And what's that displaying? I have no idea what this is. Choose OK on that. Anyway, right, okay, so we'll get this loaded. Basic editor, all the things, and we'll play. So I've just got all the things I use, like stuff pack, DNA key cards, building stuff. And now we're going to go into game, which probably won't show up on the screen. So we'll have to close that, lock that, then we can go into game. Sorry about all this. Sort of, we're getting there. So you've got an idea to build something, and you want to make it an event. What can you do with events? You can make them move around. So, like the trains and the police cars and the helicopters. Let's say we want, for my work, what I've been doing is mine's a C platform, a platform like an oil rig, and it moves around. It's random. It's randomized across along the south side of the Generous map. There's 8 locations it can spawn at, and it randomizes between the two, so you never know where it's going to spawn. At some point, I'll add custom loot to that, but for the moment, we'll get it working. So this is just to get you introduced into it. So let's open up Chadorus in the dayz editor. This is literally off the cuff. I've not got this planned out whatsoever. I know what I want to show you, so there'll be a lot of sort of breaks in between. So we're floating in the sky, and we need to build something. So let's bring up the map. Hopefully, we're streaming this correctly. Yep, we're streaming this. Somewhere to build. Somewhere to build. Below to see the good idea. It's click middle mouse button. Bring off the map. Space bar. Fly down. Press T. Press home. we're standing in the airfield. Return. Yes, anyway, okay, press home again. So, we're here. So, we're going to have a building. Don simply did aircraft, I do buildings. I actually made a big, as I said, I made a big platform. So, let's just do CNCH. Let's start with the platform. I'm not going to rotate anything. I'm just going to place these down without actually doing anything if I can help it. So it's going to be rough and ready. So there's going to be gaps and everything else, and it's let's uniform this up to the same height, 10. Okay, and 10. Okay, so just by doing that, we've got a where they get an interference pattern when two objects overlap. So you have to sort of move them apart a little bit. I forgot to activate ground mode. It'll stop them floating about all over the place. Not the best object to be building because of the curves in the edge. Can you see the curves on the edge there? But we'll just shift it about a bit so it little nice gentle movements. There we go. Okay, so close enough. Okay, so we've got our two bits. Once, hold down Shift, click the second one, right click, duplicate, and just drag. Not go. And okay, we've got a platform. It's a basic platform, isn't it? So we'll lock these. So select all, press L, lock them. Don't get any bad movements. Okay, so this is basically what I did. I created a platform, and I put an aerial on it. Tower. 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 Right, that's what I put on there, but it's a bit big. There we go. That's the one I used for my platform. But it's a bit big for this example, so we'll just remove that. We need a little bit small one, so we'll just use, what about TC1? Oh, that'll do. Okay, so we just want something simple to sit in the middle. Makes it easier if you've got a big object to sit in the middle. You can use a smaller, you could use a small barrel sitting there, or a gull on the floor as your primary. I'll call it primary location. But anyway, okay, so we're building in dayz editor. Now you're saying, what about VPP? VPP Object Builder. You can do it in VPP Object Builder. You can, but we'll get there. I'll show you how to jump between the two. So let's lock that one as well. So we've got our tower, and we need to add. Let's put a toilet. Have some toilets. That'll do nicely. Right there. Let's and put him over there. This is literally just an example. Hold down Control and click on the little square, duplicates the object. Both are selected by clicking anywhere on the screen. Hold down Alt and drag upwards, and we've got our thing. So imagine this is bigger, like an 80s. Toilet is an 80s, say. Let's put some barracks in. Where are they? Let's call these barracks. Now, because it's ground mode, it's snapping to the surface of the ground. Oops, that's still locked that properly. Lock those. Locked. Okay, it's still on ground mode, so let's put it in collision mode. Collision mode does have this weird effect, so you'll have to excuse that. So we'll turn that ground mode and collision mode both together. Let's see if that helps at all. And it just makes it worse. And it's up there. So collision mode off. let's get rid of that. Let's go for a nice clean start again. Okay, so this is those are small barracks. Let's make this military barrack larger. Let's actually see if a barrack will actually fit on here. Find a small barrack. Big. Ah, that one might fit. There we go. Give you a good idea. Spacebar, come down. Lock toilets. Double click on the word will bring the same properties up as double clicking on the little blue box. If you can't get to the little blue box without breaking something, see there's a little blue box there. Double click on it, brings up properties, or double click on the item on the right hand column, bring up properties. So we want to just bring this down. Hold Alt. What is it? Shift. There we go. Shift. Smaller increments. We're just going to take it down a little fraction. Oh, got the hiccups. We'll put a lock on. And just check, make sure that things look right. Oh, there's that hiccup again. Okay, and there's no loot. Fine. And of course, there's no loot in this toilet. There might be loot on the tower, but there are these are loot points in the real world. But don't need to worry about that. Don't need to worry about map group proto, whatever, because we're going to turn this into an event and press home again. An event, a dynamic event, will actually come with loot. Wonderful. You don't have to. You don't have to do all that map group proto stuff. So we're going to put that back up. What else? Can we get another barrack up here? That's too big. Smaller barrack, long barrack. Okay, let's pretend we can actually fit it on here, shall we? Can we get it on here without causing too much trouble? No, we won't do that. Put it over there. Close that. Comfortable. Another slurp of tea. Anyway, so we've created our structure. You could call this a trader or a black market. A black market that moves around the map. So it's never in the same place. So you've got your black market trader inside here. Somebody was asking the other day about putting in characters. You can actually put a character in. But when you put him in, he's invisible. Double click. And he's partially naked. Okay. Yeah, he seems to have lost his clothing. Not a good example. Let's find somebody else. Nikki? Will Nikki, does Nikki have clothes? Let's have a look. Imagine this is your black market trader. And your Nikki. I thought that was a female. I'd have to use a female. I don't like men. Frida. Let's try Frida. So what I'm doing, I clicked on here, clicked on the ground, double click on that, brings up enable simulation, makes them stand, hold down shift and do a rotation. Oops. Oh. Strange. End simulation. That might be it. Okay, we'll choose OK for the moment. Tilt, 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 tilt. And let's rotate around. Okay, that should do. Let's bring that person back up to normal size. Enable physics. Okay. Enable simulation. Fine, they're just going to stand there. Okay. We'll lock this. You can see what we're doing. Just put this in. So, okay. Put myself here. Home. Let's make sure we can interact. Yep. Okay. Right. So. Oops, no damage. Okay. So that's your. Imagine that's your black market trader. You do whatever you need to, dress them up, etc., etc. And this is the black market you want all over the map, or to appear in certain places. You're going to have to be very careful because you need to make sure it's semi-flat when you put it down. You can, of course, you can make this bigger platforms or rocks or whatever you want. We're just going to go through the basics here. So, right, okay, so we've got your trader, a barrack, other stuff laying around, have a water point, water, water station. Okay, that's a well, isn't it? Well. Many boots. We'll go for this. Put that there. Halt. Bring it up out the ground. Doesn't need to be too far. And we'll put that there. So lock that. Don't forget to lock everything. Click somewhere on the map. Right. Okay. So we've built our group of objects. Okay. So what are we going to do? We need to export this. Now we need to export this. First of all, we need to save this. So let's get this up. File, save as, and we'll give it a name. Black. Oops. Of course. Market group. And I'm going to put one at the end. Underscore one. And it's going to be a dayz. Now we're going to we've saved it so that you can come back to it if need be in the dayz. We don't need to do anything with dayz. It can stay in the folder. But we're going to export this now as a VPP. Yeah, that's the fourth line down on the export. So export, and we can give it black market underscore group underscore one. Now that should be very similar to the dayz I made. I can remember what it's called, black market. So much stuff. My folder. And as I said, I've got a very bad memory. My eyesight's going as well. Where's the black market gone? Black market group underscore one. That'll do nice. That's a dayz, but we're exporting it as a VPP. Yeah, the blue title, and we'll export that. So we've exported that. We can actually close this down now. We've saved this as dayz. This is just the building area. It's not going to be here. Yeah, it is just the building area. I'm going to exit the editor, and I'll have to change my screen so you can see what's happening. So, okay, so let's just minimize some things down out the way so you don't see lots of weird stuff happening. Now, what we want is folders. So we're going to go to folders now. Now, this is the editor. It's in your documents folder, documents dayz editor. I hope you can see that all right. Now, let's editor. And here we are at the top. It refreshed as soon as I clicked on it. Black market group VPP. We're going to copy this. We're going to leave it there. We don't need to move it. We're just going to make a copy. We're going to copy, and we're going to pop it into the server. Now, my server's on my computer, so I'm going to go to my server. It's totally up to you how you have yours sorted out. I have mine this way, works for me. I remember where everything is. Now, in your server, you're going to have to go to your profiles folder because we're going to actually put it inside VPP admin tools, and it's configurable plugins and building set manager. And here we're going to paste the black market group into the VPP because we're actually going to go into the server now to do the work there. So you've done something in dayz editor. We're going to export it as VPP and we're going to open up in a live server or your production server, if you like, wherever you do your work. Not live to the public. You can if you want. If you've only got one server, do it, but lock the server whilst you do this because you don't want people coming in whilst you're messing about doing this sort of thing. So however you do it. So anyway, right, so it's in the building, it's in this folder, as you can see. dayz, it's in the server profiles. The profile is sometimes called config, VPP admin tools, configurable plugins, building set manager. We've popped it here, it's got a VPP extension. So with that said, let's move on back into game now. We're actually going into a live server. Now my server is on my computer and I've forgotten how to turn things off and on. Show desktop icons. And I will run my server. You won't see this because I don't have the window for that. In the meantime, we'll close the folders because we've done our bit we need. So close that. We're actually going to start the game up now. And as I said, because my game is on my own computer, server's on my computer, or whatever, however you want it, go to your server, log in, load into the game. As long as you've got VPP admin tools and your admin, then you'll be fine. It's quite simple. Just waiting for the server to boot up. Little slurp. I should have got some biscuits. Oh, ginger nut biscuits. They would be lovely. But in the meantime, cold cup of tea I have to do. I should have got myself another drink. So, okay. I think we're up and running. Just check my thing. Seems to be a bit. I'll have to restart my server, but I'll show you what happens in a minute on that. We'll get that. We'll get round to that. That's another part of this video. So anyway, let's go into game. Where's my launcher? dayz. So just jump into the server. You can't see this, but I'm joining my server. That's on my machine. I talk a lot, don't I? But there we go. Can't have everything. I'm growing a beard again. I shaved it all off, but it's coming back up again. I must have a proper shave. 31 minutes so far, so you'll have to bear with me on this. It's not scripted in any way. I'm just doing it as you might end up doing it off the cuff. You've got an idea and you're putting it out there. So, let's see. Yep, the game's loading. Okay. It's a whitelisted server, so don't worry about trying to join it. It's whitelisted, you can't get in. And it's under my control and it's on my computer system, my LAN. So I just turn it off when I don't need it. It's my production area, or what? Just messing about, experimenting with things like mods and cars, and doing these things. Right. So, oh yes, DNA. Let's bring this up. Push that down. Been having a little fun with that. So let us now enter into admin mode and let's look at the object builder. And there is Black Market Group 1. Now we know where it is, down below. So we'll have to teleport to Pelota. Don't forget this is a live server. So don't forget to put God mode on. There will be zombies, wolves, other things running around. And safe stop. Hello, safe stop. So this is our, you can see drink. We look in here, and this is a partially naked person. Okay, let's put some clothes on that black market person. You can see it works. Yeah. This could be interesting. Can I climb the ladder? Yes. Okay, so you can get on the ladder and go to the top. Right. Okay. Oh, you can run out. Just about enough headroom there. Oop. Yep, that'll do. Right. Okay. So I'm messing about here. Let's just put ourselves on top of this in case any nasties come along. Don't need to worry about myself. Because I'm only working with the objects. So let's go into free cam mode. We'll move around and up. We'll get a nice view of this area. Like we did in dayz editor. Press home, bring yourself up your admin tools. Come to object builder. And you can see nice. Select the group that we imported. And everything appears. You can see everything's nice. Find the center point that you're going to use as the master or the primary object in the list. This will be the first thing that everything is connected to. It is the center point, 0, 0 if you like. So it's the land tower here. So we'll select that, it turns blue, and we confirm that there. This is what can confuse people. Now you've got that one selected. Hold down shift, drag, oh, should have done that. Right mouse, drag across the rest. Okay. I can't undo the fact that I've rotated it. I should have warned you about that. So hold down shift, right mouse, drag across everything else. Because that was the first one you selected, it's already primary. Now, all you have to keep holding shift, press your P copy to clipboard button. Now, by default, that's the letter P, P for Papa. I have rebound mine to the numpad star. So I'll press that, and it shows you successfully copied event groups formatting of objects to clipboard. And that's all we have to do. So, let go of your shift, save edits, and we're done. Now, you don't want to delete this. You might want to come back and do some changes. So you leave this where it is. I'm going to Alt tab out the game. You can't see this, but I'm going to show that I'm going to bring up a basic notepad. And in notepad, I'm going to Control V, Control Paste. And this is the output that was copied to the clipboard. So you can see there's a group name there and a group name there. We haven't defined what the group name is, but the first object in the list is the tower, and everything else will be the child objects, and they will be relative to the primary. So, or these numbers won't be the primary is actually this line at the top. Don't worry about that. It's just I'm just showing you where the primary is sitting. The primary is sitting at these coordinates, whereas all the other children are sitting 4 meters down, 4 meters across, 14 meters in a different direction, relative to the primary object. So you've got your main object, and you've got the thing that is, I can't do this, next to it. Yep. So you've got my head is the primary, my hands are the children. They're relative to the location where my head is. Hope you understand. Okay. Anyway, we've pasted it into a notepad. You can paste it into anything you want in Notepad++ if you like. I've pasted it in there in case something goes horribly wrong. Now I'm going to save this as, I'll save as, I'm going to save it to my desktop or documents or wherever. I'm going to save it to my desktop, and I'm just going to say group black market group 1. It's just for safety. If the computer crashes, your work is safe. Saved it. Done. Okay, so we can, it's still in your clipboard and it's here. So it's safe. So we can now, we can come back to the game. Let me just minimize these things. Otherwise you won't be able to see what I'm doing. So turn off Notepad, don't need to see that. And we can actually exit the game. So press escape, escape again, come back down, and place your character somewhere safe. Doesn't matter. Let's put him over here. Oh, zombies. Let's put him on the coast. We'll fly over to the coast. We'll put him on the coast. Safely out of the way. So pretty safe here. So we can exit the game now, because we're going to do some editing, file work. So I don't know how things work there. So I need to actually show you Notepad++. So we're going to be using Notepad++. And we'll need Notepad as well. The Notepad is underneath, so don't worry about that. Don't forget, we've got the the clipboard still active. So the Notepad is purely in case the computer crashes or you make a mistake. Go back. You accidentally copy something else whilst you're trying to do this, and you've lost the data. So save it. Just save it for safety. Right. So let's close out the game. I'll exit the game now. As I said, I should have made myself a decent cup of tea. My wife's gone to bed, so I have to drink cold tea. Right. So we've got our grouping saved the in the clipboard. So we'll actually bring it into Notepad now, and there we go. So we're going to give it a name. So let's start with the first name. Black Market Group Event. Black Market Group Event. Simple enough. But I'm actually going to put something else, and I'm actually going to give it static. And you need to actually, somewhere in all this, you need to actually use the word static. I'm just going to use it for all my naming. It makes life so much easier. There are other things like animal, vehicle, static. Yeah, but I'm just going to, all my work here is just going to work on the same thing. Static black market group event. So I'm just going to have that name for everything. I'm not going to mess about and give it different names. Keep it simple, keep it all the same name. Don't worry about this top bit. Yep, that's a comment. You don't need to worry about it. So we've got our name in both places. We've got our group, which is there. So now, ignore gameplay for the moment. It's just something else. So what we need to do, we need to create an event. Now that's my platform I've been working on. So what I can do is I can actually ignore that. Let's give you a different thing. One of the best ones to use down here. These are all the ones that are made by Bohemia Interactive. As you can see, they're all events. These events are groups of objects or zombies in this case. We're actually going to come down. We're going to actually look for a train. Planks, loot, bonfire, Christmas tree, contaminated areas, heli crash. What about it? Military convoy. Here we are. Military convoy. That's military convoy. No, let's go for train. I will find the train actually. There, a static train. Here we are. And we're going to copy this event. Copy this. This is why you wanted to save this before, because you're going to have to make copies. Yeah, so don't forget. Right, so come back to your group. Sorry, event. Sorry, back to event. Go to the very top. Pasting in the top is much easier than trying to paste it in the bottom. Start a new line and paste. Comments. Open, and that will give you a comment line. And we can do that. Example above this line. And you can put some stars in here. Make it bigger. So it divides up your work. We'll copy that. We'll paste that there. And we'll just open it up. Put some gaps around it. There we go. Right. Okay. So the first time you want to keep things as clear as possible. Okay. So static train. We're not going to use the word static train. We're going to come back here. We're going to copy this. We're going to copy static black market group event name, and we're going to go back to events. We're going to put it up here where the static train was. So we don't need to actually change much at all of this, except this piece here. It's the secondary. Now these are what spawns around zombies that spawn, or objects that spawn, generally zombies, that spawn around the event. So we're just going to delete that. We don't need that. You can play around with that later, add some zombies in. Don't forget this is a static train event. We just copied it for our own information. Right, okay, so we only want one event. Nominal 1. Minimum 1. Max 0. Time. Time is seconds. So we only want it to happen once a restart. We don't want it happening every half hour because that would just be a pain in the neck for people. So we're going to need seconds. So you look up on the internet, hours to seconds. 1 hour equals 3,600. Most restarts are 4 hours, so we end up with 14,400. So you just type into Google hours to seconds, the letter TO2, and it's 14,400 seconds, 4 hours. So there we go. So it won't decay until the server restarts. So you don't have this problem of the thing despawning whilst somebody's trying to drive there. It only despawns at the restart. So unless you make it before restart's coming up, it'll be gone. It'll despawn. So anyway, okay, so that's 14,400. Distance radius cleanup. We're going to set this for 500. We don't want it too big. Just need big enough to cover the area where the group is sitting. Cleanup radius. Let's have a think. Oh well, set that 500 as well. Distance radius. The distance radius is a person has to be within 500 meters of the group to keep it from going into the 1400. You don't really need to worry about the distance radius at all, really, because even if the timer is running, it'll restart anyway on the server restart. So it's neither here nor there. So we'll just use distance radius of 500 and clean up as 500. Deletable on. That means that when the server shuts down, it can delete whatever was there. Excuse me, I've got tinnitus. Leave everything else 0. It's fixed, and the limit is literally what's in the list. The limit is the children that are in there. Okay, so ignore that one down there. So we're working only on this bit above. This is our event. Save that. And now we come to the event group. Now the event group is all those objects from here. I'm going to take this whole lot, whole kit and caboodle, copy it, come to a cgf event group. Now I'm going to put it up here. You can see I put comments here. I'm going to paste it there like that. Okay, you're asking, what's this commented bit out here? That's just a reference, so you know what this is all about. Because you end up with lists of hundreds of stuff, but you need the comments to actually tell you. I've put mine there, and I've divided my objects up. I've copied and pasted into here. It does not matter. You can actually take this apart. For instance, I'll show you. Let's put that there. And we'll put a comment there. An exclamation mark. The children. There we go. Move that across. And that's in the wrong place. Control X. Delete. And we want it there. So that. So the children are below. And this is your primary. It's still called a child, but it's actually your primary. That's the first one you copied. So that's your primary. Okay, so you can divide it up and you can actually give it all names. Like I've done here, I've got a primary, a warp door, floor. Warp door is part of DNA, DNA safes and things like that. Type in DNA in the workbench, you'll find it. And that works quite well. But back to our thing. So you can actually comment out what you'll put comments here and describing what each piece does. Actually, you might as well do that. Buildings, buildings. Oh, buildings. Straight up. And we'll copy that out or cut that out and put it in here. As you see, you can move stuff around. It doesn't matter how you organize this listing. Don't change the numbers at all. As long as the numbers are the same, it doesn't really matter. You can, as I said, I've messed about with this file and moved everything around. Here we go. Crane on my structure. I have cranes, toilets, hangar, one group of buildings, more structures, miscellaneous bits, wrecks, metal bits and bobs, a hangar, some ramps. Up to you how you do it. Just don't change the numbers and you're fine. It's quite simple. Right, so anyway, we've got our stuff. Just tidy it up, blah, 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 blah. And we can save CFG event groups. That's it. You don't need to worry. You're wondering, what happens now? Okay. Copy this. Copy that. Copy that first line. This is where this bit comes in now. Come to event spawns. Now, event spawns, where the object will appear. Now, it was commented out here, but we copied it and we pasted it here. Leave a copy there so you've got a reference. And in CFG event spawns, paste it on the top. And put another comment. Sample work above. That dash and close that. Oops, too many. The other one. Nope, wrong thing. Got it. Right. And that's my stuff below, so don't worry about that. Now these are all the possible spawn points for my platform. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because there's 8 possible places it can spawn on a server restart. Because I'm not having it. Mine is also on the 4-hour timer. I want the platform or object to spawn on a restart. So don't stay on the platform. You'll have to find it again. You have to put a warning out about things like this if you want to do this, especially if it's at sea, because people have a tendency to fall in the water and drown. So if it's on land, it's not too much of a problem. And it's not a problem for me because I'm the only person on my server at the moment. So we've got this placed down. Compare this to the other things here, and you'll see that is the basic coordinates for the location of the primary object. So you're going to put the tower down, and then everything else is going to spawn around it. And that's what this is. And we've left it exactly the same, and it's ready to go, believe it or not. Save this file, and you're done. There's more to it. You can go back and edit. Going back and editing is just time consuming. So try to make sure that your build is exactly how you want before you do all this. Going back, you can go back and edit it and build it and re-import it, export it, etc. Do a few test runs first of building a structure until it's perfectly what you want. Remember that you're taking this object and you're placing it down in a specific location. Now, at the moment, the location I've chosen is smack bang in the middle of Balota Airfield. So that's the first spawn point. I don't really want it there, really. I want it in other places. Very similar to the safe stores of DNA, that you're going to have to go around the map, choose where you want to spawn it, get the coordinates, and do it that way. Spawn it in, see how it works. For me, for the sea, because it's mine's out at sea, it's all flat. Not a problem. If you're doing something like this and you're going to spawn it on a hill, you're going to have to really think of what your base structure is going to be. Ideally, you want to put it on top of something that's got like a big block. So you've got big blocks and everything's on top so that you can raise it up and lower it. And you'll need to do that at some point. If it's flat, it's not a problem. Now, the position is where the little the elevation from the ground. Excuse me, I've got an itch. Back scratcher. So the tower had a little blue square in the middle of it, and that's halfway up the tower was a little blue square. Not at the bottom. The center point for the object was that little blue square, the anchor. Now, a lot of objects have the anchor in the middle of the bounding box that surrounds the object. That's how it's made. That point there is this number here, 24.987 feet above zero, or above the ground. You'll have to experiment with that, but that's one of the things you're going to have to be aware of. when you're moving these objects around the map. That it's not the bottom of the tower that is the location. It's up there, halfway up the tower. Use a can of Coke, a can of Pepsi, a book on the floor as your master, and then connect everything to that little book on the floor. Even a matchbox might be better. If you put a little matchbox on the floor, use that as the primary, the master, and have everything else spawn around that little matchbox. Don't worry about the matchbox. If somebody picks it up, it's not a problem. We're just using it as a reference point. I've used the tower, and the tower has a reference point, has the anchor halfway up. Use a matchbox, use a can of Coke, something small on the floor that you can work with. And that'll give you a better elevation and reference points. I've only used this as an example. Anyway, we're done. Effectively, we're done. Now, you don't need to, in the CFG event spawns, scroll down here, you'll find there are some other things. Find an example. There's a lot in this. Right, here we are. Static bonfire. Static bonfire has the zone element or attribute. Now this is the area, the static bonfire spawns, the loot spawns in a circle around, or a zone around the base of the bonfire. So what we're looking at here is the objects that are going to spawn on the ground. Very similar to a helicopter. A helicopter has a zone attribute as well. We don't need to worry about that because our buildings are where we want the loot to spawn. We don't want the loot spawning on the ground around, so we don't need to worry about the zone. But I'm just making you aware that the zone shows where the objects are around. The first thing is the minimum and maximum of the static objects that will spawn. So you'll always have 3 to a maximum of 5 objects spawning on the ground. The D min and D max is very similar. It's dynamic. I think it's dynamic. You'll find out. Experiment, try it, modify it, see what happens. That's how you learn. So anyway, R is the radius of the circle. So if you look at the very end here, it says R equals 55. That's 55 centimeters, feet, yards, meters, I don't know, around the bonfire. So you bring out a line from the bonfire, 55 units, and that's the radius. Piece of string, 55 long. That's the bonfire. But we're not going to be worried about that because our black market, everything's inside the buildings. We don't need anything spawning on the grounds outside. So we don't have to worry about having a zone. I've got the zone here as an example. You can see here. Put it there as an example. Just why not? So we're done. We don't need to worry. CFG gameplay is something else entirely, and other people will tell you about those. This was a temporary file. We can close this. We don't need that because we've actually got the data now inside CFG groups. Hopefully you're with me at the moment. Let me just check, see what you can see. So, okay, so we're there. So now I'll turn off Notepad++. I'll turn off Notepad. And we're actually going to start the server up. Now, the fun bit. Events. Let me bring you back to events. To make sure this works. Up Notepad, there we are. In here, you'll find that there is an active line. Now, if this is either on or off, 1 or 0, so we're going to turn that off, and we're going to turn mine off as well. What we're doing is we're letting the server start up with this information inside the server, but we don't want to have those things spawning. Not just yet. We're going to start the server up, run the server, and we'll wait until the server has finished doing what it's doing. Now I'm trying to try and get you, allow you to see the boot up. If I can get, yes, that's no, that's not very good, is it? It's horrible. You can't see it properly. What we're looking for is this bit up here. But that's a terrible example. Let's see if I can do a window capture for you. There we go. I think you can. Will you be able to see that? I think you can. Use OK on that. Okay, so this is the server. I'll make that a little bit bigger. Right, so this is the server booting up. This is the what termed console. You can actually see what's going on, and what we're looking for is we're looking for the groups. We're going to look through. We're going to find groups. That's right. I've got two screens here, one on the left, one on the right. So let's just zoom through. There we are. Okay, line 2326. There. 85 groups defined, 84 in use. That means that there should have been 86 and 84. So I probably made a mistake. Let's bring up Notepad++ again. Okay, we'll have to close that because I didn't do it right. Okay, example there. I didn't do it right. No, nobody's perfect. Nobody is perfect. I don't. Uh, an admin of a server takes responsibility for everything that happens. You're doing it for everybody. You're not doing it for making money. You're doing it because you want to help people play the game, have fun. An admin that doesn't play on the server can be. I'm not going to say much more than that. You need to play the server. You need to know how it's working and whether it's how you feel it's going. Okay, you're coming in as an admin and that, but you've got to be able to have hands-on experience. You can't just expect people to accept what you've built and play along. So anyway, right, okay. So I made the mistake that I didn't save the events file. You need to have these deactivated. The ones that you've built, the dynamics, turn them off. Run the server. Run the server. We'll see if we can get it to work properly this time. There we go. It's coming up now. Let's bring that up there. There we go. Oh, that's a bit big, isn't it? Wow. I don't know why that's so big. But you can see it at least. So let's see. When you're doing this 0, 0 of the events, the server will complain. Well, it should complain because you've turned something off that it had saved in its memory. And here we go. Serious stream damage. Don't worry, that's because you turned off the events and it is literally just complaining to say that storage folder is being affected by what's happened. It's not the end of the world. Don't panic. Not the end of the world. But this is the end of the world. It's OBS being a pain in the neck. Let's lock that down. There we go. So anyway, let's scroll to the bottom of this. So okay, right down to the bottom, and you can't see the bottom because I haven't done it properly. Okay, we'll do that. I'll make it so you can see. There we go. Right. Okay. So Battle is active. Um, servers unlocked, and you had all these complaints up here. Excellent. That means what you've done is correct. Shut your server down. Give it a few minutes to settle itself out. For me, I have to wait for about 30 seconds, and then I can carry on. So we'll close that. Back to events. In events, we'll turn on both of these now. Oh, that's supposed to be a 1 or 0. A 1 there, and a 1 there. And we'll save this. Save events. We're only working on events. We don't need to worry about anything else now. And we're done. Now, we've only got one spawn point. Remember this, we've only got one spawn point. And that is on Beloter Airfield. We just need to make sure this works. So, we need to close that. We need to actually run up the server now with those active. So we've activated both of them. And we're going to run the server up and strange. Yes. There we go. Okay, so don't really need this whole. You'll have a different experience because mine's on my computer. I've got this console pops up, which allows me to watch what's happening. But we don't need to worry about that at all because you'll have different options to actually see what's happening. You might be even using CF Cloud, and that might show you what's happening. Don't panic too much. It either does it or it doesn't. So we're just waiting for my server to boot up, and when it does, we'll actually jump into game, and we'll see what's happening. So I can turn this off. You don't need to see that. Oh yes, you do. We'll need to wait for this to boot because you'll see that it actually it's different. Need to wait just a few seconds. 30 to 60 seconds on my computer. So we're just starting up on the thing. You can see it's loading, but the screen doesn't show properly. So I'm going to try and drag it down. Now this is the storage loading in. Every server does this. In the background, you don't normally see it. Normally just waiting. Servers booting. Okay. Now if we have done this correctly, then certain things will appear on the screen. On this screen, on my console screen, I will see certain things that I'll show you. Now, we have here black market. You can see it started up, and there's my C platform, and you can see it saying certain things. What we're looking for, setup is invalid, event will be disabled. Why? Good question. Nothing's perfect. It should have worked. It didn't. So we'll have to have a look. Dynamic events, static group event, setup is invalid, event will be disabled. Okay. So this is my, this here is the C platform. We'll just scroll down a bit, see if black market pops itself up again. There's a lot of stuff on my platform. So okay, let's go into game, and we'll actually see what actually is there. If there's anything there, and what it is. Troubleshooting, great fun. So, cup of tea. Made a different cup of different drink. Yeah, I would go away and give myself a different drink, but dying to know what I've done wrong. It's probably something silly. Right. I don't know whether you can see anything. I've just got a black screen. Right. Let's see now. We need to go down server so you can see the game in the background. There we go. We're on the beach, remember? I teleported to the beach, so we're not far away, so it won't take much to get back. When you're creating events, admin tools on, hit return, God mode on, go into cam mode and fly across here. It is here. Now, what did I do wrong? Oh, I know exactly what I did wrong. I have two instances running. Exit the game. Totally forgot in my zeal to actually show you how this works. Totally forgot to turn off the VPP. I've got the VPP spawning and I've got the event spawning on top of it. So we'll shut the server down. Wait a few seconds. And I will show you folders. And you'll see that the VPP Black Market Group 1 is still in there. It shouldn't be there. What I should have done is I've created another folder inside building set and storage. So I keep everything that I've worked on. Drag it in there and there we go. Okay, so that's empty now. So minimize that, close that, run the server again, let you see what's happening. Okay, and we're waiting. Sorry about this. See, when you're building things, you don't often have to do this many times. Maybe you'll spend a day, 2 days, 3 days, a week building something. Once it's built, you're not going to play around with it again for ages. So getting it to work is your first priority. Once it's working, that's it. You're not going to go back. You're going to start a different project. You're going to either build something new or you're going to play the game. Um, this may take up maybe a week or two at max, maybe a month. If you're building a whole server, it could take you a month, especially if you're new to building servers and things like that, because you've got types files to work out, you've got mods to install, and they don't work properly sometimes with each other. Yeah, all these things. So let's have a look. Let's where's my mouse gone? There it is. Okay, how are we doing? Right, this is the storage bin loading in. Okay. Got a bit of a failure there on something else. Oh, didn't like it. You'll notice that storage loaded in, but the two events, platform and the market, they're there, but they didn't activate. So, close it down. Come back to your notepad. Go into events. Turn the events back off. 0, 0. Save the file. Start the server again. And we need to actually see those little three tick boxes. That's the event thing popping up. So let's make it big enough for you to see. There we go. Patience. Patience. I've got all time with. 1:45 UK GMT. I'm in England, Britain, whatever you want to call it. A bit shaggy. Shaggy. So we're just going to wait now. I've got to start the server with the two new my events turned off. I'm not worried about all the other events because they're already in the system. What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to make the events get into the storage, because that's what happens when an event occurs. If it occurs correctly, then that is actually put into storage. So next time the server boots up, it's all ready to spawn. Like preemptive. So what we've got to do is we've got to make sure that the events that we've created are turned off a couple of times, to make sure that there we go, storage is complaining. We're missing something. What have you turned off? And I know what I turned off. I turned off my events. Don't worry about any other events. Turned off my events. Because the other events aren't causing problems. So they're all right there. They're already imprinted into storage. My events are not imprinted properly. That little block there of error, so I can show you. This block here, that block there is the black market. The block above, all that there, all that block is my seaside platform. It is very big. So you can see that it does know it's there, but it hasn't imprinted into storage properly. Right, so we're going to give it a few seconds just to settle down, and then we're going to shut it down. I just close the box, but I have to wait for a minute or two to allow for the files to update in the back end. A minute or two, not even a minute really. Doesn't take long. Okay, we'll close the other boxes down I've got running. Okay, back to Notepad++. I'm going to turn on both of our events, save the file, and we're going to run the server again. Troubleshooting. Errors happen. Now, I'm looking at the files. They shouldn't have happened. There wasn't any reason not to, but the server doesn't like change, especially the storage folder. The storage folder doesn't like all this messing about. So just minimize stuff out of the way. Let's bring this up. Let's put that out here. How big do I want this box? Oh, there we are. Okay, just waiting now. Again, as I said, you'll do this maybe a couple of days, maybe 24 hours or overnight. If you're working, it's going to be a pain. If you're not working, much easier, much easier. Don't if you're a server owner and you work, um, good luck juggling family, work, and creating a server. It's very difficult. I appreciate that some people can actually um, have mental breakdown, but if you're not working or have friends that have time to do this, ask them for a little help. It doesn't hurt. Be nice to your staff. It's one of the things. Be nice, considerate. Talk to your staff. It's one of the things. Talking. Have regular meetings with your admins, your lower admins, your new admins. You don't need to necessarily talk to the players that come onto the server, but at least talk to your admins. Keep them, get ideas from them. Find out what's going on with the server if you're at work when you're not there. But anyway, yeah, have regular meetings with your staff. Really important. Okay, we've got stuff spawning. Let's see what happened. Um, and that's it. The server is completely started now. Let's go up and see what we got. Let's have a look. Again, black market did not work. Does not have a position player, so it needs configured positions. That could be the problem. Because what I used as a reference point was dynamic by player. So we can close that. Come back to here. Let's have a look. Let's go back into our. Let's start off with the spawn point. So start off with what we've got here. Okay, we'll start off with CG event spawns. The location, rotation, name. Good. That's okay. That's fine. That's okay. So event spawns is good. Grouping. Grouping. So we've got loot. Loot on the tower. Fine there. Fine. That could be the problem. It could be the survivor. Turn off loot. Survivor. What you may have to do, rather than using a character as your trader, you may have to use a trader machines instead. And I think that's where the error occurs with Survivor Freedom. So what we're going to do, we're going to comment this line out, and we'll save that. And I do reckon it's a survivor there because it's not an object. We've labeled this as a static, and survivor character is not a static. It's a survivor. It shouldn't be in this group. So you're going to have to use a machine. If you're going to have pop up black market all over the server, you're going to have to use ATMs and trader machines, square boxes. So now that's sorted, we can actually try restarting the server without doing any of the other negative stuff. So let's run the server up and see what happens. Close down Notepad. No, hide Notepad, not actually closing it down. And it's case waiting again. In the meantime, where's did I just close that by mistake? Probably. Got task manager. If I've got more than one running. Yeah, I accidentally closed that. I closed that. Closed the server down accidentally. So I'm just gonna have to wait again. Oh, I'm dying for a drink. Oh, that was quick. What are we doing? Okay. All the information was there except that one bit. So may actually just jump straight in and not have to worry about doing that trick where you turn the events off, turn them back on. Oh, maybe we will have to. I didn't see. Setup is invalid. Event will be disabled. And they're there. And how many events have we got? 85, 84. Interesting. Yeah, we're gonna have to have another look at that. Done something wrong. I can't see what it is. Uh, okay, let's come back. Configuration. So let's start with um, the event itself. Events, event. Okay. Active, yes. Child, fixed. Readable. Radius. Lock it off. Time. You'll see it's virtually the same as this one down here. Um, so that one works. This one doesn't. Okay, so let's come back to event groups. Have a look at event groups. I think I may have to do that trick of turning stuff off and on again. But we'll go through the coding. Pump. That doesn't need loot. Military barracks. Let's put 10, 10, minimum 5, 5. Toilets. Toilets don't have loot. Oh yes, they do, don't they? So they have. We'll give them minimum 2. They come up to the walls. Ah, no loot on the walls. These need to 3 zeros. Can't lose a wall, can you? Get stone out of it, but you can't. So these are the platform it's sitting on. There's zeros. Land tower. That has loot. That's correct. Static. That's fine. Save that. Go to event spawns. Spawn location. Check gameplay. Make sure everything's. No, that's fine. And we did turn off the thing. So back to events. Everything seems to be working fine. So we'll have to turn this one off, but we'll leave Kamenka on. The platform one. We'll leave that one on. We'll turn off the black market. Okay. So it's start up server. Hide that. I am so going to have to get a drink. Just bear with me. And we're back again. I didn't see Kamenka pop up. It should have popped up. Open the can. It is Fanta, by the way. It's a soft drink. Let's have a put that over there. Right. Okay, so everything. Let's scroll up and have a look. Now, the storage loaded in. Kamenka didn't spawn. There's Kamenka. Kamenka didn't spawn. Okay, so okay, we'll have to do some more poking. Poke the bear, I suppose. Not literally poke the bear. Let's turn off Kamenka as well. We'll save that. Both turned off. And run the server up again. Eyesight's going. Everything becoming blurry. Well, at least I haven't passed out. Okay, so are we going to get any errors? There's Kamenka. Kamenka error. The rest of storage loading in. I actually have 12 backups, 12 storage running. Have a look, see if there's anything. So we've got. There we go. Both are turned off now. You can see 85 events and only 83 are turned on because we literally have got them turned off now. Okay, so that was that. Shut that down and give it a few the server software time to do its thing in the background. back to Notepad++. I'm going to turn on both the events. Save the file. Minimize. If you're working on a remote server, this can be time consuming. So I would recommend trying to learn how to actually run a server on your own computer or LAN. If you can hear a noise, that's my my NAS backing up the hard drives midnight. Yeah, so yeah, I would recommend trying to get a local server running on your computer or another LAN computer, so you don't have to keep connecting to the internet, etc. Because when you're building things, you do need quick access to doing this sort of shutdown, restart, trying to just do the little tweaks until you get to work. It's a pain in the neck. There's no easy solution sometimes. It could be a comma, a dot, it can even be this. I'll show you. You could make a simple mistake of actually doing that and not closing the line properly, and it's on a separate line. It needs to be correct. That again. So these are turned on now. So we'll hide that. Start the server. Now, fingers crossed, again, that the server will actually behave and actually boot properly. If you're working with one event, it's easier. But when you've got two events that have only just been added to the server, they can conflict. You've got to be prepared for troubleshooting. One can conflict with another. It doesn't take much really for the conflict to actually cause a big headache. So, okay, so storage is starting to load in. Central economy storage or centralized economy. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There we go. Something spawned. Something working. Let's find out. I'll just wait for the, yep, that's finished. Scroll back up. Let's have a look. Oh, that's Kamenka. Black market's still not working. Okay. Does not have position player. I've missed something in the file. Let's have a look at Notepad++. I really do. I really cannot see what this error is. Put that down there out of the way. Now they're only buildings turned off Survivor. These are just buildings. They're land buildings, static objects. There's nothing here that would cause that event spawn. Spawn is just position. I missed it. Can you see what I did? Yeah, I can see what I did. It's this bit here. I forgot to give it an event name. I forgot to give it a name. Yeah. Shoot me. Shoot me. These things happen. You look at it so hard sometimes. You miss these things. It's some simple thing. Yeah. Just missing the event name. Named. Save that. Minimize that. Okay. So, start the server up again, I suppose. Maybe not. Close that. Try again. Okay. Your brain. Nobody's perfect. Honestly, nobody's perfect. You'll learn this. You'll learn this. That you'll spend hours building something. One little thing breaks the whole thing, and you'll spend hours. You spend hours building it, and then hours trying to find that one little thing that's wrong. Good luck. Some people say, "Oh, it never happens to me. I'm that good," and you're playing a game. And real life is not like a game. You cannot. Oh, look at me! I had a heart attack. I didn't expect to have a heart attack, but I had two heart attacks. So you never know what's going to come your way. Right. Anyway, storage is loading. Excuse me. And it didn't work. You change a file, you have to shut it down. Now let's have a look. You can see it's too short. Um, the storage was loading, and then nothing happened. So let's have a look. Where 85 events, and none of them were activated. So look carefully, you'll see all this broken. The whole server's broken now. Now, all events are disabled. So, close that. And I did a big break. I broke. Got to close the box. Ah, see that bit there? I forgot to put a open event, close the event. Where's that knife? Just sort of stab myself. Okay, right. Event open, name, blah blah, position, close event. Event open, event name. See that there? That's what I missed. Get your yeah. Save that. Okay, didn't see it. Right, I'll show you again. That bit there. You see it? That bit there. I didn't close the event. I opened the event. I forgot to open the event. I already had the position down, but I forgot to give it an event and name. And then I forgot to close the event. So everything broke. I've saved it now, and I've shown you my error. Oh, I spend too much time staring at a screen. Fun. Each to his own, I suppose. Let's close Notepad, run the server up again, and make the box a bit bigger. And we're waiting again. Anybody got any ice whiskey? No, it's can't see it properly. Zero sugar Fanta. Fanta, not whiskey or any other form of alcohol. Fanta, straight from the fridge. Here we go. There's the storage loading. No, you won't see this on your thing. Your server just won't work. You won't. You won't have access to this unless you're on your own local machine. Um, you'll just have a screen saying, "Oh, server's not working." Okay, something worked. Something worked. It was a little bit. Well, black market worked, but my let's have a look. These are just warnings. They're not. We don't need to worry about that. What happened to my event name? Hmm. Where's my event? Did it come down here? It's contaminated and heli crash. Hmm. How many events are there? Hmm. Okay, close that down. We'll have to deactivate the events on the server again. Now, if I hadn't made that mistake earlier, the server would have been running by now because I could have done this shut down, restart sooner because I didn't spot my mistake. Sometimes it helps if other people look at your work. I don't have anybody to look at my work at the moment. It's very late at night, so it might help if somebody looks over your shoulder now and then just to tell you that you fucked up. Sorry, French. You messed up. Messed up. I can't. I'm not going to beat that out. Most people who are reading this are adults, hopefully. So, um, is the storage bin loading? The dynamic bins. You can see it says dynamic just there. Hey, lots of things. Okay, what did we get here? Lots of little errors. Lots of little errors. Duplicated, actually. That was duplicated error. Um, Yeah, well, okay, fair enough. Okay, so we'll close it down again. Sorry, I didn't let you see that, but Notepad++ was in the way. But yeah, it just zoomed through, gave a lot of errors like it usually does, saying, oh, you've done something wrong. So we come back to Notepad++, and we'll reactivate our events, save the file, hide Notepad, run the server. Close that, run it again. Got to minimize something. I couldn't see what was happening. So, now, we pray. You'll be doing the same thing. You'll make a mistake and you can't see it. You'll go on a Discord. You'll ask for an answer. A lot of people, only people who are having problems will be on the Discords. Rare to find somebody who doesn't have a problem on the Discord. You might have the admins, you might have somebody else visiting, but it's very difficult to find somebody who's got immediately going to give you an answer. So it's going to take you maybe 24 hours, 2 days to get a response back from a Discord. So in the meantime, do some research, go on the website of the word and just search for it. That was a large block of text there, and I reckon that was, yes, there we go. It spawned. Okay, so black market and my platform. So the server's working. So let's go have a look, shall we? So there's my launcher. There we go. Hopefully in a second you'll see the game launching in the background. What have I got open? Games on, webcam. Okay, that's fine. Should see it in a minute or so. There it comes. I hope. Black screen of death. Of course it's not. There we are. I'm not 100% with this streaming stuff, so don't blame me. That's just not something else you've got to learn. You've got to learn coding. You've got to learn about the mods, the mod structures. You've got to learn about dayz. You've got to remember what all the assets are. You've got to know the syntax of the events. It's so much to learn. For 5 minutes work usually, and then you'll get bored of the game and you'll go and play something else. Welcome to gaming. Gaming is a new thing. It's only since computers came out that this community and events are happening. Events, things are happening. It's all new. When if you're 20 years old now, in 40 years, this won't be a thing. You'll be on something other. You'll be on some other experience, virtual reality, or overwhelmed everything. So anyway, I'm 61, so I've had to. Nobody's taught me how to do this. I was terrible at school, didn't do well at maths. Um, all this stuff. Okay, admin tools on, God mode on. Have a look. Remember, I said that I removed the VPP. Just make sure that VPP is off. So you go Object Builder, and there's nothing in the building set. So what you're seeing here is the dynamic event. This is what we've been doing. It's kind of strange. There we go. Yeah. Okay. You could probably need some ramps going around. Okay. So loot. This we didn't do any map group pros, so this loot is dynamic loot, or what's in my thing. So what you're seeing on the thing is dynamic loot, stuff that's spawned in because of the event. The event loot, nothing to do with where we are. This actually comes in automatically according to the building structure that's in the server files. So whatever this one here got lots of loot in it. Yeah, but if we look at this one over here, the exactly same building, got hardly anything in it. It's only got maybe four pieces. But the one we built and the one we have has got a lot more loot because that's what we asked you to do. Remember in the notepad, we said in the groups, event groups, um, we set the loot here, the round barracks. We gave it 10 and 5, minimum 5, maximum 10. It's not the same as the other barrack over the road. That's still on the old loot systems. We can actually make this 100, and it would fill up all the slots. The slots are all the beds, bits of the floor, but that's how you increase loot for specific spawn points. You're not affecting the whole server. So whatever I've done here only affects this group of structures. Let's see what's up here. Hello, Ray. Turn that on. I made a preset, nothing. Apply the preset. Right, there we go. Let's come up here. We got any loot up here? Nothing there. Did I turn the tower off? I'm up the tower at the moment. There's there's that. 3 with a minimum of 1. So there should be at least 1 item of loot on this tower. Probably all the way at the top. I'm all the way to the top. Oh, there it is. All the way at the top. That's that 1 piece of loot. So, so there you go. So the loot only affects those loot changes in that file. Only affects what's here. Doesn't affect everything else on the server. So, but now you've got to dabble. And my apologies about making that horrible mistake. Totally. I was trying to rush this and get through and explain it and made a total mess of it. But hopefully you learn that we all make mistakes. You'll make mistakes. I'll make mistakes. That's a safe store by DNA safe stores. Somewhere out at sea, there is my dynamic spawning oil rig platform thing. So what we'll do, I'm actually going to go to Dissy because I have a DNA door. DNA doors are called warp doors. And the thing about warp doors is that you can put the warp door down in dayz editor and it will take you to your destination. Now, it doesn't work if you have one of these DNA warp doors on the on the event group, it'll work. Server restarts, the structure spawns in, the door spawns in. Cannot remove the event and have the door continue to work. It's one off only per restart. You'd have to restart the server to make the doors work again. And because it's a dynamic event, the platform has moved somewhere else on the map. But on the restart, this door stays. The door on the platform moves with the event. Give it a second, and there's a lot here. That's why it all lagged out. Again, you can see there's a lot of loot here. And the other doors just there. This platform, very big. Got a ship. That's my event. Now, where are we at the moment? We are down here on the southeast corner. All that line, all the way across, there are 8 spawn points, starting on the far west and ending on the east. So that whole row along the bottom could be anywhere along that line. There are 8 possible points. And as I said, because it's a dynamic event, you don't have to worry about map group pos and all the loot spawning, because it brings its loot with it according to how you've got the settings in the file. Now, I'll have a little quick show you the settings I have for the event. Static Kamenka C platform, that's what I called it. And you can see it's virtually the same as the black market we created. And it's every 4 hours is the timer. So the server restarts in 4 hours. Not a problem. Perfectly fine. And because it's there every time, because it moves position every restart, the doors work. If it was to restart, the door would stay where it is and the platform would be somewhere else, and you've lost your connection. DNA warp doors. So anyway, don't know whether you're looking at this. Anyway, so in the event groups, you've got the floor of the. Let me just do some twiddling here so you can see. Okay, so we'll just move that over a little. We'll just move it down. There we go. Move it down a bit. We'll lock that. There we go. Right. Okay. So this is the base of the platform. They're called NCNCH. And we scroll down here. There's a lot of it. Now, in order to actually get this to spawn in as a dynamic event, I had to turn off fruit and stones that are spawning on the map and mushrooms. All the mushrooms are turned off, all the stones are turned off, and all the fruit spawns are turned off. A lot of things that are needed for survival, but not in a PvE map. You've got other things to help you. Little stones are only useful for making stone knives. Mushrooms. If you're running out of food, find a mushroom. And the fruit on the ground, not a problem. Kill a zombie, kill a deer, kill an animal, get food that way. So you don't really need all those little things add up on the server. Turn them off. So anyway, then we have the legs of the platform. So legs of the platform underneath. What else we got? We got that's the platform legs 1 and 2, because there's 2 sets of legs, one higher than the other. We've got the containers. The containers, military container, 5 items of loot with a minimum of 3 spawning in them. The medical tents have 10 items of loot with a minimum of 3. So somewhere between 3 and 10 items can spawn. There's some wooden boxes, don't have anything there. The ship itself, I've turned up the spawn for 10 unit, a minimum of 3. And this is why there's so much loot. The military barracks, I've actually turned that right up. 3 to 15 items of loot per barrack. So don't worry about the rest of the server, because you can make your event group be overloaded with loot. The event you've created then becomes loot heaven for people if they can find it. Because my event, as I said, spawns all the way across the 367 line at 2 meter intervals, and it could be anywhere along of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 possible locations. And there we go. That's why this is so much loot. So much loot here. And miles away from anybody. The only way to get here on foot is through the teleport door or the warp door. And you can go back the same way, but in order to go back the same way, key card. Once you're here, unless you've only got a short time before that door breaks, the door will reset itself after a short time. So you've only got a few minutes unless you've got one key card. And this is how I've got it. This is just for testing purposes. It works. Why not? There's only me playing. Use the card, use the warp, and teleports me back to Tissy. I'm all the way back up here in Tissy now. Where am I? There I am. All the way up in Tissy. In the underground bunker. There's an underground bunker, you see. That's here. And that's where I've got my warp door. Yeah. So a bit confusing here. I've got ESP still turned on. So we'll clear that, turn it off to clear toggle. Turn those on. What? I think that covers most things, really, doesn't it? Lots of small events can be created. You don't need to build a massive event like my platform. You can have small events. You can make a black market event on a platform if you like. You have the black market. Any like that. My platform could be a black market. They can come there by helicopter. They've got to find the place first. Every restart, it could be in one of 8 places. People interested. Don't log off on the platform, because when you log back in, you'll be swimming in the water. Yeah, that's one of the things. You've got to make sure that people are aware that if they do that, then they're risking loss of vehicles, etc. Or you do it on the land. For instance, you can actually put that platform. A lot of people build in this area here at Tissy. You can actually put the platform here. Put the platform there, and you can have it spawn over here. So yeah, you can find a flat ground and have it spawn there. If it doesn't look right, change the position, change the coordinates. There's plenty of locations all over the place. Dynamic spawning. You don't have to have a big thing. A building, one small building with a machine inside it, and you can spawn it anywhere. That trader probably works now because I've fixed the file. We're done. We're done. I could go on forever talking about this thing, but it's not going to help you. You've seen how it works. You've seen how even I can mess it up, make it work. As I said, Don Sibley, his video was a great help getting the syntax right for some of these things. B++ admin tools with the changes in the way that you can create groupings of objects and the hierarchy, and it's all done for you. You just need to practice to make it work. So, with that said, I am going to be eaten by wolves. Hello, wolfies. They can't get down here, luckily. So, as long as I don't go out there, I'm safe. But I'm an admin. I've got a big gun. Yes. I've got no ammunition for it. But then I'm an admin. Anyway, have a nice evening. And I hope this gave you an insight into the ways of breaking your server or making mistakes. It should help you in some way. I don't know how long this video is, but 2 hours. It took me 2 hours to sort that out. 2 hours and 13 minutes of yabbering away. Cheers. Let's